It was considered as an integral part of plant and machinery. And even in case of one of the cases, Balarpur Industries, 20 MTJ 497, the manufacture of final product set off was allowed. I think I will have to only take up the last issue and conclude. I have exceeded my time also, but I thank everyone over here for patient hearing. I thank the chairman of the session, Mr. Patkar, for guiding, even Mr. Rajat Talali, because he has also given a lot of guidance, and Mrs. Nikita, because she helped me to choose the topic. And I thank everybody for giving me a patient hearing. Thank you all.
I was aware that Rupa will run short of time because subject is so vast. Rules, especially Rule 53(6), then the rule pertaining to works contract. That requires a paper. That these rules are like, some rules are like that a paper will have to be written, full paper on each ruler. She has tried her best, I must say. Now, Rupa has also raised certain posers which have been distributed. However, what I am planning to do is to consider those posers in brain trust, because in brain trust we have got only 18 queries. I have myself prepared some posers. Those posers, when they are discussed, this paper will be entirely complete. That is what I feel. Now, some issues she has raised in her paper, and she has also replied, like plant. Now, I have not raised any problem because her answers are correct. Her answers are correct. Whatever she has discussed, it is correct. But wherever there are two opinions, or wherever I find that this particular interpretation drawn by her may not stand, there I have raised the point. So now I will request the group leaders to consider these posers which have been distributed to you just now. Group leaders and mentors, you have those posers in your hand? Yeah. Now, group number 1. First two, I think Deepak, you are the mentor for group number 1. Where is your group leader? Mahesh, kindly stand up. Basa khali. Now, you have received these posers. The first poser is dealer has not filed form number 501. Is it right? Okay. Poser number 8 and poser number 11. Am I clear? Deepak. First two, thereafter 8 and 11. Then group number 2. Mentor is Deepak Bhai. Rajat Bhai. For you, third poser, fourth poser, then 15,
Yeah.
अरे काय यार पेपर न वाचता येतं मेंटॉर
मेंटोर को कल बताया गया कि मेंटोर है
बराबर है कि नहीं कल बताया हो तो एक एडिशनल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी
सेकंड वन
वो मैं सबको
दैट इज डेफिनेट करेक्ट
और that is correct
पेज नंबर 17
लेकिन अब अभी अपने जोर में मेंटॉर को बोले लेकिन बाकी तो
मुझे तब बोल यार तू मैं नहीं बोलूंगा हाथ से मत
निकालो ना यार आपको मेंटॉर किसने बोला है
is not defined. Besides that, principally jobber. Chairman sir, please is also not defined. Now one will have to consider the term principally would mean definitely having more inclination towards carrying out job work compared to the other activities.
घर से जाके
what so it is all in one thing. Now you tell whether would a retention apply. Answer
स्पेशली
नहीं भी है तो एस फ्यूल यूज किया तो वन में आएगा
नॉट यूज्ड एज फ्यूल ऐसे क्लियर
या
बराबर है ना
38thRRC. This sub-rule was inserted by the amendment with effect from 1/5/2012 to nullify the effect of the particular judgment which allowed the full set off without retention under section 53(1) on the natural gas which is not used as fuel but used as raw material. Our group has opined that the natural gas purchases would definitely surely attract the retention under rule 53(1)(a) because 53(1)(a) says that if the natural gas so purchased is not sold or resold or transferred to the branches etc., then what remains? The natural gas used as a raw material. Then if it refers to that natural gas used as a raw material, therefore the rule 53(1)(a) certainly has an application to the situation and therefore the retention would definitely attract in such case. The next is how far the observations of the paper writer in para 8.1 on page 24 as regards the set off to the developers are correct. Here we have discussed at length in our group and we came to the conclusion that on the portion on which the developer is liable to the pay tax, its corresponding purchases are eligible for set off. And rule 54G and H does not have any application to this. However, for the unsold portion and unsold stage, rule 54G and H will apply, hence no set off will be applicable on the corresponding purchases which are utilized for the portion of the building which are not sold till completion. For example, developer constructs a building of say containing 12 flats and 9 flats out of 12 are agreement is done before the completion certificate, that is when it was under construction. Considering the amended rule 58, out of those 9 flats also, when on which portion of those 9 flats it is taxable, up to those taxable portions set off will be available, and on which portion which is not a taxable receipt of taxable sales, on that portion set off will not be applicable. The remaining 3 flats which are sold even after completion certificate is obtained, on purchases corresponding to those remaining 3 flats, set off will not be available considering rule 54G and H. I thank you very much for the association and the organizers for giving me the chance to be a group leader. Thank you. I request Sri Deepakji Thakkar to throw more light on these queries as the mentor
sent it here, in her PowerPoint it is there. But then since it is not in the paper, it's not communicated. I request Rupa now to present her correct observations.
Now I've already put that in my PowerPoint, but I had also noted that part when I was yesterday. So once again I'll just go through that, and that requires that small correction also. Developer is opting for normal or table method for computing tax liability, then he will be eligible to claim set-off on steel, cement and other building material used in the erection of immovable property, considering him to be as a works contractor and not an employer. And if the flat is constructed and completed, as I think Mr. Kshatriya also just now observed it, then the same will not be considered as a taxable works contract, and in that case, he will be hit by Rule 54H, because then he is using the material for construction of immovable property other than plant and machinery. This is a small correction. Achha, regarding this earlier about that purchases being debited and not debited to P&L account, that query which was there on Rule 52, a small clarification. Here what we intend to say is that the cost is shared between the units. Means the head office and the branch. The cost is being shared. So the cost is incurred by those branches which are outside Maharashtra. And the head office is only incurring expense to the extent of whatever purchases are made for the head office only. So in that case, when the other branches are incurring those expenses and not, that is outside Maharashtra, and the head office is only debiting purchases to the extent of cost it is incurring. Because when we pass the journal entry also, we debit that branch account, not the purchases account. That's why it does not appear in my head office accounts. And on that basis, I have referred that since these are not my purchases, I cannot claim set-off because they are not purchased in Maharashtra. They are meant for outside Maharashtra. And if we see the point 3, where I have already said that if the purchases are made and then the goods are transferred to the branches, then in that case, yes, you can claim full set-off, because I am going to debit the full purchases in Maharashtra. That is what I have felt. Of course, the opinions can differ. So that's the clarification that I wanted to make. Thank you.
First poser which Kshatriya's group has handled is whether the dealer is entitled to set off the purchase of goods even though effected in the state of Maharashtra are not debited either to P&L account or to the trading account but accounted in the branch. See, basically, I am of the view that you are entitled to the set off on the basis of purchases. As in one of the posers, she has herself said that even if it is income and expenditure account, you are entitled to it, because so far as non-dealer or the educational institutions or trust are concerned, they maintain income and expenditure. So therefore, what is important, see, profit and loss account and what is mentioned there, it is just illustrative. Now what has happened here, they have paid the purchases and just debited. She is not saying anywhere that the material has moved to the branches, or then the treatment may be different. But so far as only the debit is given in the branch account, the view expressed by Kshatriya is very correct. They are entitled to set off on this. Whether natural gas used as raw material, see this is the unfortunate thing which she has also brought to your notice, that natural gas, when it is used as a raw material, they have made a specific rule. That 1 and 1A. 1A they are granting set off for fuel, but then in 1 they are granting set off for fuel. But here, so far as 1A is concerned, they are saying that natural gas, if it is not sold or resold, the retention will be applied as fuel. So she is very correct in that when she says that in number of industries, especially chemical industries, when natural gas is being used, it will affect her. Now see the anomaly in this. Natural gas, if it is used in works contract, there is a sale and you are getting the set off. But natural gas, if it is being used in the goods which are sold as a chattel, then you are not getting. Because there it is going only as the raw material. So this is the anomaly. Anyway, when it comes, we'll try to interpret it. But this is, as the rule stands, the literal interpretation is, you are not entitled to full set off of natural gas when it is used as raw material. How far the observations of paper writer in para 8.1 of 24 as regards the set off to developers are correct now? Rupa herself, as she has corrected her observations in the paper, developers, builders, they are entitled to don't have that concept in your mind that cement and steel, when it is used in factory, then only you get the set off, or when and if it is used in the residential building or commercial premises, offices, you are not, so far as developer is concerned, they are entitled to set off. Read the L&T judgment carefully. They are saying now, so far those materials are the transfer of properties to the third party. So why can't you get the set off on that? And when, see the concept of the VAT. The concept of the VAT is to levy tax on the goods sold and give you the set off of the tax which you have paid on the raw material. Here the raw material is your steel and cement and others. So you are entitled to set. So it's very clear so far as builder, because see in the circular, this is very important because in circulars also issued by the Commissioner of they say sales tax, but only if it is allowable under this 54 G and H. But those G and H are not coming in the way.